The camera zooms in on the dark, foggy roads of Northern California, the year 1968. It's a cold winter night. A couple parks by a remote lake, unaware that a masked killer is lurking. Flashbacks of previous murders appear, his shadow slipping between the trees. A quiet night ends in screams. The Zodiac strikes his first victims, Betty Lou Jensen and David Faraday, out of nowhere, making it look like a robbery gone wrong. But was it? A brutal killing, yet there are no witnesses, only the chilling silence of a darkened car. The killer vanishes into the night. Who was this masked murderer? Why did he strike? What makes him different? The questions swirl, and the Zodiac's chilling first letter arrives, taunting authorities. I like killing people because it is so much fun. A young couple with bright futures ahead. They were just high school sweethearts, enjoying an innocent date. Their lives were taken without reason, without remorse. Betty was an aspiring student. David was the quiet, kind-hearted boy from a modest family. Their families are left devastated. They never imagined their children would be part of a story like this. The next victims, Michael Mageau and Darlene Ferrin, are out on a date, parked at Blue Rock Springs Park. The killer approaches, gun drawn, and fires into their car, taking Darlene's life instantly. Michael, however, survives to tell the tale, but the killer's twisted need for recognition grows stronger. The killer, now calling himself the Zodiac, sends taunting letters to local newspapers, detailing the murders. His need for attention is unmistakable. In his letters, he mocks the police, providing cryptic clues, and even gives away the locations of future victims, making everyone uneasy. "I will kill again," one letter says, hinting at his desire to control the media's narrative. The Zodiac symbol, a cross circle, becomes a permanent fixture in his twisted reign of terror. The symbol isn't just a signature, it's a message to the world. It's an emblem of death, control, and pride in his power. The killer takes satisfaction in his ability to remain anonymous, manipulating law enforcement through his complex puzzles. Local police, unaware of the monster they're dealing with, begin their investigation. Early suspects like Arthur Lee Allen are considered, but there's no solid evidence tying him to the crimes. The public grows frustrated as the killer leaves more letters, giving them the feeling that the Zodiac is playing a game, one they can't win. The Zodiac's cryptic ciphers become more intricate. Authorities begin to recognize the complexity of his mind. With each passing letter, the Zodiac seems more brazen, playing a dangerous game of cat and mouse with the police. His ciphers become the centerpiece of the investigation, and the media feeds into his desire for attention. The Zodiac's power is in his control of the narrative. He enjoys seeing the world react to his crime spree. A chilling sense of dread hangs over the town. His presence is felt even when he's not physically there. The Zodiac's next move comes at Lake Berryessa, where he confronts Brian Hartnell and Cecilia and Shepard. He ties them up, then stabs them repeatedly. This brutal attack becomes the Zodiac's defining moment. The killer now shows his true thirst for violence. The symbol appears once again, confirming his identity. With more victims and more letters, law enforcement steps up the investigation. But despite the Zodiac's taunts, there are no breakthroughs. The killer's untraceable movements, his intelligence, and his unpredictability frustrate police efforts. The families of the victims, Betty Lou, Darlene, Michael, Brian, and Cecilia, live with the haunting uncertainty. There is no closure. The psychological toll is immense. For them, it's not just about the killings. It's about the killer slipping through their fingers, his identity still a question mark. The press explodes with theories. Every newspaper has its own suspect, its own take on the Zodiac's identity. People start looking at anyone with a shady past. Was it a local? A drifter? A family man? The theories fly, but the Zodiac watches from the shadows, unbothered by the chaos he's caused. The terror isn't just contained to the Bay Area anymore. People across California start looking over their shoulders. Was the Zodiac still out there? Would he strike again? The Zodiac's reign is not just one of violence. It's psychological warfare, a war of control. In October 1969, the Zodiac kills Paul Stein, a cab driver in San Francisco. This marks the final confirmed killing. The police are no closer to catching him. But what does the Zodiac do after this? He stops. The letters stop. The killings stop. For a while, everything goes quiet and no one knows why. With the final murder, the Zodiac fades into the background. But the final cryptic message is different. He begins to allude to a time when he would stop killing. Was he tired of the game, or was something deeper at play? Was the Zodiac beginning to reveal his true motivations? Many investigators believed Alan was the Zodiac, citing his disturbing behavior and connections to the crimes. But no solid proof linked him directly to the killings. Theories about his involvement continue to swirl, but as time passes, people wonder if the Zodiac's true identity will ever come to light. In recent years, a new suspect emerged, Gary Francis Post, a deceased convicted murderer. His name resurfaced in 2021 when a group of former investigators, the Case Breakers, linked him to the crimes through circumstantial evidence. However, law enforcement was quick to dismiss this theory, citing a lack of conclusive proof. The Zodiac Killer's DNA has been a focal point in recent years. With advancements in genetic testing, investigators have revisited the cold case. The search for DNA evidence, hair follicles, blood samples, or traces left at crime scenes has become central to solving the mystery. Could DNA finally reveal the Zodiac's true identity? Detectives and criminologists working on the Zodiac case describe the emotional toll it's taken on them. The frustration of chasing leads, the constant dead ends, and the knowledge that a killer remains free for decades weigh heavily on their spirits. The search for justice becomes more than a career. It becomes a mission that many will never see completed. As time marches on, the Zodiac case fades from the public eye. The fear, the chaos, the horror of his crimes all settle into the history books. But for those who lived through it, those who were affected, it's a wound that may never fully heal. The killer is still out there. New DNA testing, new technology, and renewed interest in the case bring fresh hope. Could this new generation of detectives finally identify the Zodiac? With modern investigative techniques, could we finally uncover his identity after over 50 years of uncertainty? Just as the investigation seemed to have hit another dead end, a breakthrough emerges. A new suspect, with a shocking connection to the murders, is brought forward. Could this finally be the piece of the puzzle that fits? The Zodiac Killer's identity may never be revealed, but the impact of his crimes endures. The fear, the paranoia, the unanswered questions, they are part of his legacy. And though the case may never be fully solved, the Zodiac will always remain in the shadows, a ghost that haunts us all.